This is Stephen Amsden from the South Berkshire Research Institute. This excerpt on the method of contact with illumined entities was taken place on October 7th, 2015, from an experiment in transdimensional phenomena. Revealed from a variety of sources, not the least of which is the recently translated text of the Hypostasis of the Archons from the ancient Nag Hammadi Library, describes how non-human entities interact with our 3D world of human existence to fulfill a number of divine purposes, some appearing not as beneficial to humankind, but of a predatory or even parasitic nature, that preys upon human weakness and gains strength from and thrive on human misery. The text furthermore describes how these Archons feed upon the corrupted soul of a person at death, which goes a long ways towards explaining its role in the divine will to compel one to consider purifying one's inner life during this existence, and thereby obtain eternal life and avoid the wheel of karma reincarnating again and again in this worldly existence. The affliction of these non-human entities upon mankind are therefore necessary and justified as part of the divine will, as is documented ad nauseum throughout our history books, filled with the seemingly boundless and endless accounts of the cycle of war, disease, famine, and poverty, which has produced generous results and evidence of a perpetual feast for these Archons. Some describe these non-human entities as negative extraterrestrials, and upon further research of the descriptions, testimony, and witnesses of the accounts of UFO abductees and the narratives of those who claim to have been taken to other worlds, the difference in these accounts become blurred, overlap in tone and similarity, and in the end appear to be but different perspectives based upon purely subjective manifestations of consciousness of the same objective phenomena. On the other side of the equation regarding non-human entities, the concept of archangels, elementals, or holy spirits as guardians and actors of the divine will, the messengers of God, and the protectors of humanity, cast their light upon their role as the positive non-human entities, also well documented through the sacred texts, and resident in all of the sacred books of the great world religions, as well as among primitive tribes, the pagan and secular world. Evidence of human relations with angelic beings of the divine order are prevalent in human history and permeated in human consciousness. From divine intervention to methods of conjuration, interaction with these angelic beings has been well documented and springs from a knowledge of experience that transcends that of faith or belief. With profound consequences, these experiences find their way into the human experience and consciousness on both the material and spiritual levels, the former by divine intervention, the latter by conscious acts of the human will. As part of the divine will, these non-human entities exist to help to both those ordained and those who ask, and provide balance to the sacred scales of justice in the big picture. And they're on the throne at the gateway between the two worlds of existence, at the inception point, at the fulcrum of existence, sits the Virgin of Light, the judge of all who are born, and to whom the will of all is subjected, at the precise and timeless moment when each decision is made, to enter the world of illusion to the left, the great labyrinth of deception, the world of the 7 deadly sins, or the world of truth to the right, the narrow path, the inner path of light, the way of the soul, the Garden of Eden, paradise.